Hey, yo guys, what is good? You've got Techno here, your coach of the Carolina Pantherians, and today we're back with our next week of the NPL. Now, first thing you guys are gonna notice, huzzah, here I am, Facecam, wazam. It took me oh so long to make sure that this Facecam could happen, and yeah, here we are, and I'm gonna start that vid off with that awkward nose thing, because I really felt like I was about to sneeze. Okay, but yeah, so here we are, I believe that the other coaches who do this in minors are, I guess, Turbo and Uzi, and then I don't know who else does it. I think that's only them, which is cool. But yeah, I'm super hyped to do this. Been wanting to do this for a while, so this will probably be on the next few NPL videos. So guys, let me just know what you guys think about this. If you guys like this, if you like seeing my face, here I am. But yeah, so what we're actually here for, besides this, no, I'm kidding, we are here with our week 3 game of the NPL versus Hikertoad, coach of the Boston Boldores. Now, Hiker is a very good friend of mine, and I'm definitely very intimidated to play. We've played quite a few times in the past and taken a few L's. Some we deserved, some we didn't, but regardless, it's still just been quite a bit of a ride. So let me actually just go right back to here. So you guys are going to notice that, first of all, his team is Celesteela, which is Z, so that's automatically a humongous threat versus my team. Mega Charizard X, Rotom Wash, Nidoqueen, Piloswine, Uxie, Alolan Persian, Terrakion, Whimsicott, Zangoose, which is also Z, Araquanid, Quilladin, which is also Z. So, that is a very threatening team, if you guys can't tell. Those first 4 picks, even like the 5th pick, which was memed on, but I think Piloswine's a very good mon in the format IMO. I think that it's all just a very solid team overall. So definitely not looking forward to playing it. You guys will notice that the first thing you guys see from my team is that I did make some transactions. I decided to drop Jellicent and Incineroar for Lycanroc Dusk and my boy Spiritomb. Now, I think that will help out my team quite a bit. Not going to say too much about them, but yeah, you guys see, we have another rocker. Fucking finally, wow. We don't have just Steelix anymore, which is always going to be really great, because having just Steelix, although Steelix I think is pretty good as a rocker, definitely not ideal. So we want to have at least one more thing that could, just get rid of the rocks for us. So I was pretty cool with that. But other than that, I think that the rest of our team is just looking pretty good, pretty solid overall. So looking at this matchup, what I was really thinking was that I wanted to make sure I had like a really offensive team, because if I had like a more defensive team, then I'd probably just end up losing to his offense, like Celesteela and the Zord. So that's why I couldn't bring a Moongus, which is unfortunate, because versus Tarak would have been a lot nicer than some of the mons I brought. I couldn't bring Sylveon either, just because of the Celesteela. I didn't want to have to baton pass all over the place. Nidoqueen was also really annoying, as well as I guess Araquanid, because Araquanid can take those hits pretty well. So everything else I thought would just be really nice bringing versus this team. So I'm kind of just gonna do a quick rundown, I guess, just because the way that the camera's kind of working. So I don't know, you guys can see. So first mon I wanted was a lead or just Sash Lycanroc with Stealth Rock, Endeavor, Accelerock, and Drorun. So the reason I ran this set is because, or I'm just looking at the thing if you guys see my head turned. Reason that I ran this set is because I thought that versus this team, it would be really nice to A, have like a lead rocker, just so I could make sure that those rocks got up and like were usually there to stay, and B, I wanted to make sure that I had something that could possibly check a +2 speed Celesteela, just in case I need it, so I have like an autotomized check to an extent. I have more than this, obviously, because this could just be a lead, or just he could just get rocks up and just end this thing anyways. But if it's like versus like I guess autotomized Celesteela and he like has his heavy slam like ready to go, and I still have my Sash intact, I can Endeavor on that turn, and then I can Accelerock the next turn. So that's all pretty good for me. So hopefully this Lycanroc does have a nice debut this matchup. Now, next one we have is going to be our Scarf Zygarde. Now, this thing shouldn't like be that hard to explain. Just mainly there for like a +1 Charizard X. Also there for Autotomized Celesteela, Scarf Terrakion, has coverage for everything, with coverage for the Araquanid right here in Stone Edge, and the Whimsicott, and Toxic for the Quilladin, just in case that wants to come, because that's the biggest wall to me, honestly. So that's like the Uxie, I guess. Quilladin's also really nice versus me with my Zygarde, so that's something I want to keep in mind. You guys will notice, by the way, no Mega Kangaskhan on this team. If we're being quite honest, I really do not like using Mega Kangaskhan, so unfortunately we are kind of stuck with it for quite a bit of the season. which is annoying, but I think that we will be able to do alright with it. I like the pressure it puts on, a little bit, kinda, sorta, not really. But overall, it's just, it's like, I don't really like it that much. Just, I feel like there's a lot of matchups that it's very underwhelming in, which is my big problem with it. And I just got a notification from God knows what. But, anyways, so you guys can see, we have this set, so that's gonna be very good. Next up we have is gonna be our Darkening. Alright, sorry, if that, like, cut off for a sec, but, yeah, my showdown just disconnected, and it revealed a team that I have for another week, so I can't keep that. But yeah, we have, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted, we have Darkinium Z, Dark Pulse, Substitute, Water Shuriken, and Hydro Pump on our Greninja. Now, the reason that we have this set is because, versus Rotom, I thought, this was going to be specs for the longest time. I wanted to be like specs, just so that I was able to have something that could just like Oko, Celesteela, and Torrent. However, I ultimately decided on Darkinium Z for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to run Sub. I felt like Sub would be pretty nice versus him, because if he wants to come in with Rotom versus me, another thing I can do versus that is I can just go for the Substitute, and I can, I guess I can just go, like, okay, like, I go for Sub, and if he wants to Volt Switch, he just gets out of there, and I can possibly get off a big hit on something else, just depending on what he goes into. So I'm pretty cool with that, especially because I can now Darkinium Z the Rotom, so that's all really good. This thing's overall just really nice versus him, and I'm pretty happy to use it. Now, next up we have our kind of Celesteela response. Not really much to say here with this Zapdos. We just have Thunderbolt, U-turn, hit Roost, and have our Hidden Power Ground. Enough speed so we outspeed the Rotom, and then we have 252 in special attacks so that our Hidden Power Grounds make sure that we can just possibly two-shot the Zard in most scenarios, so I am pretty alright with that. I think that two-shotting Zard is very important in this matchup, so hopefully that does work for us, and yeah, so that's just going to be our Zapdos this week. We have Charty Berry too, just in case it's like Rockinium Z, Celesteela, or even like versus Tarak, it's alright. So a lot of different ways that this thing can come in handy, so hopefully it does end up doing just that. Next up we have our Cryogonal. This thing's just overall really nice versus him, helps me a lot versus the Rotom. I have a nice switch into that now. As well as the fact that now I have something that can get rid of hazards. I feel like that's necessary in case he wants to bring like Sticky Webs, which I feel like he very well could. I definitely saw it in a few mocks, so it could have definitely come. But yeah, overall, other than that, that's like the main reason for Cryogonal on the team. It's just overall pretty nice utility. Like, it hits pretty hard versus a lot of his teams, especially with the Life Orb. I've ran Life Orb so that my Ice Beams to the Celesteela end up doing a lot more. But yeah, so that's just going to be our Cryogonal this week, and then our next one we have is going to be our Buzzwole with Aqua Berry, Superpower, Earthquake, Roost, and Leech Life. Now, if I'm +1 with this set, I should just Oko the Zard, and that's the main idea. I just want to get rid of that Charizard. I fucking hate Charizard, dude. It's so annoying to prep for. But luckily in NPL we do have the one-turn Mega Rule, so he does have to Mega right away. I don't have to risk a Stone Edge or anything. And if I'm +1, I can just Oko unless he's very, very bulky, or if he is like a Guess behind a Reflect, which I really hate. I was considering running Brick Break just for that, but Superpower gives me the extra damage I need right off on the, I guess, the Celesteela. So that's just going to be the team this week. Hopefully this team is able to put in a lot of work, and yeah, I'll see you guys at the battle. Alright, so here we are with our battle versus the Toad, and as you guys can see, he is packing a team of the Charizard, Celesteela, Terrakion, Araquanid, Uxie, and Piloswine. So right off the bat, this is a very threatening team for me to see. However, I did like some of the stuff I saw. Saw no Rotom, which was amazing. No Rotom is always very nice. Saw no Nidoqueen, also very good. But I do see Araquanid, and I was a little bit ill-prepared for it. However, I feel like I did have enough stuff to run for it. So let's just see what I'm going to end up doing in this battle. So you guys are going to see I do lead off with the Buzzwole, because I just felt like versus a lot of his Mons, I would just be able to get off a good matchup. Even versus the Zard, with my Earthquake set, I can either switch out or I can just get off big damage on Zard, which is really nice right off the bat. As it actually leads with Piloswine, and right off the bat I'm like, okay, no big turn 1 predictions, just gonna Superpower here, scout some sets out, and you guys can see it's actually Rocky Helmet. So I'm like, okay, so I don't know what set this Uxie is, but I'm gonna assume it's a little bit more defensive based on the count. And now I just get up my rocks here. I go right into my Turbotastic, which is the Lycan Dog, because I felt as though that was my most expendable member, like at that moment, to expend my Sash, and I would just be able to pressure out a lot of stuff anyways. I'm not that afraid of having to Endeavor versus Celesteela, but now that he has the Reflect up, which I really hate, because I fucking hate Reflect. Holy shit, I hate fucking screens so much. I brought it last week because felt like it would just be nice to face my demons, but I really just hate Reflect. I think it's so stupid. But yeah, so I don't have Defog, unfortunately, but I can just Rapid Spin here, which I'm actually not going to do. I'm actually going to go right into my Zapdos, as he makes a pretty nice play and goes right for the Continental Crush. As now, on this turn, my best play was definitely probably just to Thunderbolt or U-turn or something. But you guys are going to see what I actually do is I just go for Roost like a dummy. And now Terrakion comes in, and I'm just like, okay, I have to sack something. Maybe he'll miss, but no, he doesn't. He just kills my Zapdos, so we're down, but that's honestly fine, because on this turn I can make a big play. And as he goes into the UC, I'm just able to get off a Leech Life, and I'm like, okay, sweet, so that's really nice. And now, based on what my calc told me, I'm really thinking that this Uxie is going to be slower than my Buzzwole, just because of the damage I did earlier with the Superpower. But you guys are going to see he's actually not slower. He just gets off a Reflect. So I'm like, ooh, okay, so now I'm in a pretty weird position because I can't Oko the Zard anymore. Then he can just possibly boost up, and I'm like, okay, so now since I know that he's not Light Clay, the plan is now to kind of stall out this Reflect and see, like, if he wants to Dragon Dance up, I just go for 1,000 Arrows or something later on. But now the plan is to make sure that he can't keep roosting up and just keep spamming Earthquake. And then once the Reflect is gone, I will be in a lot better position. I'll have to take a lot of damage on the Buzzwole, but that should be alright. You guys gonna see, so yeah, that plan is now in effect, and yeah, I'm just gonna go for Earthquake, and I'm gonna get a crit. So yeah, that's so unfortunate for Hiker. Whether that really mattered, like, that would have definitely changed the game a lot, no denying that whatsoever. However, I feel as though after that there would have been a lot of different stuff that this Buzzwole could do. Like I said, I was still just trying to, I was willing to sack off my Buzzwole if it meant getting damage on the Zard, because that meant that other mons could help deal with the Celesteal a lot more, specifically my Greninja. But that should be alright for my team. So I'm still thinking that it's like Scarf, Terrakion, so that's something I'm pretty wary of. And yeah, so we just kill the Charizard, and this means I'm gonna get off a big hit on something else before he kills me. And I'm like, okay, he goes Celesteal. So this thing might actually not be able to Oko me just because it went for the Rocky MZ earlier. It might just be full physical. But no, he's actually just gonna go for Air Slash. And after that, I would have been able to Oko with the Water Shuriken, but I didn't need to. Or not Oko, but kill it after with the Water Shuriken if he did end up autotomizing, and he did just Air Slash me after that. But yeah, I was fine with that. So now I just go for Dark Pulse, and we just killed that. So Araquanid is going to come out, and I'm like, okay, so I just need to sack something here. I decided it'll be my Lycanroc. After I sack this, I can get off the Freeze Dry damage I might want with my Cryogonal, and that should be an alright position for us. But it's looking kind of weird for us. So Terrakion's going to come out, and I'm like, okay, I'm still just trying to sack this thing. So I'm just going to go for Drill Run, and yeah, we're going to pop the Shuka, and that actually still does just so much. So now the Drill Run's going to come out again, and my Cryogonal is still pretty low. So I'm not trying to mess around with this thing, like I already said. So I'm just sack off my Turbotastic, as that's going to happen right there. Cryogonal is going to come out, and I'm just going to try to get off a Rapid Spin, because I feel like he'd either Toxic or he would just go for Icicle Crash here, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine with either of those. And now he makes a very odd play. He probably expected me to recover here or something, but he goes right into his Terrakion. I'm just like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna Ice Beam or Freeze Dry you, and you're gone. Goodbye, Terrakion. Very happy to not see that thing on the screen anymore. The Ice Shard's gonna come out here, and so now I have a very surefire way to win this game. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into my Greninja, and I'm going to substitute just in case I want the Ice Shard or something, but this is actually part of my big plan. So I'm going to keep subbing. Now, the reason I'm doing this is so that versus the Araquanid, he's not going to be able to Leech Life enough health back to the point where he is going to be out of range of my Zygarde's attack. So I think this was a very good play on my part. Just to make sure, one, I'm able to kind of like get closer to Torrent, because I thought he Air Sharded there, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, so I'm going to Dark Pulse here, and I don't need Torrent at all, but yeah, it's all just fine, because now he's out of range anyways. I'm just going to Black Hole Eclipse, as he's going to go for Liquidation. I'm like, okay, so now it's going to come down to my Zygarde hitting a thing, but he actually just doesn't kill me with Liquidation, so I'm going to Dark Pulse here, and we do pick up this big win versus Hiker. So GG to my man Hiker. The crit on the Zard was definitely the most unfortunate part. I'm very interested to see what he was going to do after that happened. Or if he was just going to get his Zard back up, just see his head and stuff. But yeah, like I said, good game to Hiker. Now we're 2-1 +3, I believe. And next week, we go up against Turbo, who very well may be undefeated coming up in this week. So that'll be a doozy. But hope to see you guys then. Hope you guys enjoyed the face cam. And yeah, see ya.